Now, if any of you guys are on Twitter, we are using our hashtags. So if you follow us on Twitter, you all get to be entered into a £50 iTunes voucher at the end of the week. So what is it I actually do? So I spotted a gap in the market quite a few months ago that the careers advice in schools is non-existent. Nothing's really there to help young people achieve what they want to do in terms of the business world and going in and setting up their own companies. So we hold employability events, workshops, we do school contracts, and I do a bit of media in my spare time and public speaking. So the figures, so how we make our money, I'm going to just touch on a bit about the business, the structure and the business model that we use. So we get a lot of our money from the consultancy fees, contracts, talks, and sponsorships, and our turnover is $40,000, going to be in our first year with profits of £34,000. Now, in business, I'm a big believer it's not always about the money. It's about why you do it. And I'm going to talk to you guys a bit about the model and structure that I use in terms of how I've been able to get to where I am today. So this structure was used by Simon Sinek, a motivational speaker, and I'm going to replicate it here today and show you guys the importance of the whole concept of what, how, and why. You'll find in business a lot of people focus more on the what and the how and not on the why. And an example of this is Dell. They came out with the MP3 players quite a while ago, and they focused more on the what and the how, and not on the why, which is why their MP3 players didn't work and succeed in the job market. Whereas if you look at James Dyson, he focused on the why. And this is something that I've done as well, because I'm in it to try and inspire students to actually go into business and set up their own companies. So one advice I would give to you is focus on the why. So anyone who wants to set up their own companies or you know, whatever it is you're doing, if you focus on the key main points and the problem that you're trying to solve, that's how you become successful. So I'm going to talk to you guys a bit about my main keys to success, how it's got me to where I am today. I'll touch on a few of the sponsors that are on board with me a bit later. So networking is probably one of the key things and advice that I can give to young people today, because you know, you've all heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and actually that's probably the most correct thing that you can talk about. So what's the point of networking? Networking is to be better known, better equipped, and be better connected. When you're first starting out in business, you know, you're trying to build up a reputation, trying to get yourself known in front of different businesses and organizations. So these three key concepts, that's what the whole essence of networking is about. So some quick tips that I'm going to give to you is always having a strategy. Whenever you go into some sort of networking environment, or you know, whether it's in the schooling environment, workplace environment, have a strategy, because if you don't know what you're there for or why you're doing it, it's just a waste of time, because at the end of the day, time is money. Every time I go to events such as the NEC, or you know, whether I'm down in London, Scotland, all across the UK, I always have a strategy in mind, and I would suggest all of you guys here today have a strategy in your head, because once you've got that strategy and it works, you can replicate it into loads of different places wherever you go, and it works every time. Another key thing is be interested and also be interesting. A lot of the schools I go into, and including my own school that I'm at the moment, there's so many people who are going to get A stars and A's, but none of them are interesting. I wouldn't employ any of them, just because they haven't got the right sort of key skills that businesses are looking for, the right acumen, the right confidence, leadership skills. So be interested and be interesting. So, you know, we've all been in the situation where you're at networking events. I'm not sure, students here, adults in the room, probably been in a networking environment where you don't really know what to say. There's that awkward moment. Always go there with a conversation starter in your pocket, because it breaks the ice. You know, people like to hear stories. Storytelling is probably one of the key things to actually building up a relationship with a business contact. Be honest, because it puts people at ease. If you go in there acting like you're this, you're that, and then you get caught out, it looks bad on yourself and it builds up a bad reputation for yourself. So I would say be honest, because it puts people at ease. Another thing is listen. I was told this by one of my mentors when I first started out in June, that if you go somewhere, if you listen to what people have got to say, they think that you're actually interested in what they've got to offer, but really you're trying to figure out how you can help them, and most importantly, how you can better their business as well. So listen, and because you're listening to them, they think that you want business off them, so they'll pull out a business card and give you their card. It all kind of progresses from there. And finally, exploit your age. This is more for the students in the room. I've done that a lot. I do it all the time. Say I'm 17, businesses automatically get switched on, and it makes you interesting. It makes people want to be engaged with you. It makes people a bit curious, because you wouldn't really see a 17-year-old going up to a networking event doing all these public speaking. So exploit your age, because it always works. I can guarantee it. So I'm just going to go on a few of the follow-up statistics. One key thing is that so many people go to networking events and go to organizations, businesses, but they never follow up on anything. Some of them don't. So you'll see on the statistics that I've shown here, let's say there's 100 people in the room. Less than half of them will follow up once. And from that, only 3% sales are generated. And you'll see as the structure goes on, let's say that 2 people if you follow up twice, 30% of the people get in, 4% sales, and you'll see, if you follow up more than 4 times, you're guaranteed 80% sales in that thing. So probably why am I talking to you about following up? It's because it's all about relationships. People buy from people. In the business world, you've got to create those communications, and you've got to listen to what people have got to say, because it's all about the trust, the loyalty, and the confidence. And these 3 key things are your customer base. So if you contact someone the first time and you don't hear anything back from them, it's because you're building up the trust and the loyalty. But the 4th time you've connected with them, they've now got the confidence to believe in what you're doing and buy into what products and services you're offering. So your exit strategy. This is a key thing that I would recommend a lot of people to know about. When you're in a networking environment and you want to end the conversation and leave on good terms, always a smile is key, because it shows that you're on a good working relationship afterwards. Eye contact is really, really important, because it shows that you're interested, it shows that you're engaged, and that you're listening to what people have got to say. Firm handshake. I've come across so many business people with weak handshakes, and I think it says a lot about someone when it's not a firm handshake, because it shows that a firm handshake shows that you're clued in, you're switched on, and that you're actually there to do business. And obviously that's when the exchange of the business cards happen. So I'm going to talk to you about social media. Social media is key these days. So when did you last Google yourself? If you type your name into Google, just see what comes up about you. Because in today's society, so many employers, when they think of employing someone, they always check out their social media, see whereabouts their platform is. And it's not good about just blocking yourself on social medias, because businesses find ways to find out what it is you're posting, the sort of things you're sharing, the sort of things that you're up to. So make sure that your social media is up to scratch, it's tidy, and it represents a professional network of yourself. And I would recommend anyone going onto LinkedIn, if you're starting out a business, think that you want to set up your own company or whatever, get LinkedIn. So I'm going to talk to you now about the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch is the first 20 to 30 seconds that you've got in front of someone to sell yourself. And within this first 20 to 30 seconds, you've got to say who you are, what you do, your title, whether you're the managing director, CEO, finance officer, or whether you're just the employer in the company. And you've also got to say why you love it. One trick I would always say to you guys is that try and make them pull out their business card in the first 20 to 30 seconds, because if you master that elevator pitch, this is what I do. Within the first 20 to 30 seconds, they pull out a business card and give it you straight in their hand, because they're immediately engaged, they're interested, and they want to know more about what it is that you have to offer and do. So elevator pitch is key into selling yourself in front of the public, and also that first initial meet that you see with people, because the first 20 to 30 seconds is the first initial sort of background that someone's got on you. So that's a very important thing. So now I'm going to talk to you a bit about I'm going to talk to you a bit about getting yourself a mentor, and this is where I talk about my sponsors that I've got involved with me and how they've really helped me. So we've all seen loads of students going off doing work experience, and I've come across a lot of students in my school as well. They did work experience a couple of years ago, but they've not actually kept any of those contacts on board with them. Whereas if you've got yourself a mentor, they're there with you for life. They're there to go through your professional sort of stages through your business career. So you can go and do a week's work experience in Boots or somewhere like that, but if you don't keep contact with them and start following up and keeping that business relationship, then they'll forget about you a couple of years down the line. So what's the relevance? So this guy here, his name's called Simon Gray. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Nottingham Means Business, and he gave me leads into PricewaterhouseCoopers and Barclays. And these two companies now are my corporate sponsors of the business Young Professionals UK. So mentors are there. They open doors for you. They open more doors than you actually expect, than just being in one business premises. And my other mentor here is Julie Narker. She was the founder and CEO of the Saint-Tropez spray tanning brands. She sold it back in 2008 for about £70 million. So these sort of people, and these people that you guys need to be surrounding yourself by, they really help you get your foot in the door to key certain people and big companies such as the two I've got up on there. So sponsors, why did I go for sponsors? Because obviously 17 years old, Dan Miller, no one really knows who you are. So it's really crucial to get yourself some credibility. Get people wanting to listen to what you've got to say. Because if you can start throwing Barclays and PwC behind your name, people are interested. People will listen to you because you've made yourself relevant. And they'll be wondering why, how you linked in with all these different companies. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about apprenticeships. I'm one of the apprenticeship providers that I work with, 3As. So here's just a variety of the sponsors that we work with. I'll leave that up there for a bit. So 3As, they're an apprenticeship provider, but one of the reasons why I picked them, guys, it's because they share the same values as I do. They're in it to help creativity and help young people in business, and more specifically for the ones who want to go into the accountancy sectors, the banking and financial services. And these are the sort of businesses and the industries that I'm really geared up to actually trying to help young people into. So obviously, I base myself on a lot of credibility. You know, if you do something wrong in business, people will remember it and won't want to keep on that relationship with you. So one of the reasons why I went with these guys is because they've got 88% success rate in actually placing people into jobs. They're a national company, so they've got them all around the UK. So these are just some of the programs I spoke about. They do IT, technology, and all the different sort of things that, you know, students who are geared into business want to do. So apprenticeships versus universities. I'm going to touch on this because I know a lot of parents in the room and also throughout the whole of the UK, they think that still university is the way for students to go, get themselves a degree and get themselves into a job down in the city. But that's not the case anymore. I was in a meeting with KPMG quite a few months ago, and they said if you leave sixth form or if you leave after your GCSEs, if you go straight into that company, you'll be pushed higher up the rankings in that firm than you would have if you'd have gone to university and gone and got yourself a degree. You save yourself on average about £40,000 in debt of tuition fees, and also apprenticeships. Some statistics have shown that you actually earn £100,000 more on average than actually if you'd have gone to university. So these sort of things, don't look badly upon them because they are really, really, really good for young people. So just the last slide here, I'm going to talk about we are the future. So young people in this room today, it's up to us to try change the world, how it's working. You know, it's down to us to drive new innovative products and designs. And we are the future. It's down to us to change the way that the world's working, and we're the next business leaders of the future. So I'm just going to finish with a short Q&A. If anyone's got any questions, want to ask me about the business or how anything at all. Any
questions? I'll come around with the mic.
Any at all? They can be at the end or, yeah. Sorry.
Hi. So what inspired you to actually start up the organisation?
What inspired me to start up the organisation? So I think that schools and universities I think they con students to go there, and I think schools are so focused on exams and grades and their Ofsted ratings, and I don't think students are fully aware of the actual alternate opportunities that there are actually out there for them. I experienced it myself. I thought, you know, I was doing my A-levels, well, I'm still doing them now. I got a U in my maths exam, and it made me think to myself, why am I still in education? What should have been there back in year 11 that would have helped me go into an apprenticeship or, you know, set up my own company? And there was nothing there. No careers advice, really, no links into business industry. So that's what inspired me to do it, because I was thinking, you know, there's thousands of other kids around the UK that actually don't want to go into A-levels or university, but actually don't know the alternate route paths that are out there for them. So that's what inspired me. And one thing about the business, it's all about the students. You know, I'm in it to help young people. So I think we've got a question at the front. Sorry.
I just wondered what your startup costs were, or do you just work at home?
Okay, so my startup costs. So many people say that it's so hard to set up a business, it costs lots of money, but it really doesn't. I started this business up with about £200, and that was funded through sponsorship money. And all you've got to do is register a domain name, get yourself private limited company on Companies House. And really, it's all about, I go back to networking, it's knowing the right people. And if people can be inspired by what you're doing and want to be involved with what you're doing, that's how it all kind of starts. I mean, for products, and if you're developing products, it's probably a lot more expensive. But if it's a service and those sort of things, I mean, my startup costs were only £200. And if anyone's interested in actually setting up a company, come and see me afterwards, and I can put you in the right direction of certain people.